right, man. Let's talk about a season review for the Detroit Lions for the 2022 season. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Appreciate everybody for joining. So I was getting. I was gonna get to this, and then I'm gonna get to the live. Hopefully Friday or Saturday. Um, Hopefully we can make all that happen by this weekend. I know we got some uninteresting playoff games out there too. So if you want to see my playoff predictions, check out my main channel, Goodfella TV, right here on YouTube. And if you can't kind of find it through all the videos, just go to the NFL playlist. It would be there, right? So the Lions, I think, in my opinion, had a successful 2022. I don't do predictions. I don't guess games anymore. I've been stopped doing that. I used to go through as a kid and say, well, they can win this, and they can win this many games, and they can do this, and they can do that. For the most part, I stopped doing it. Okay. Per se, we don't, have to get into stats and all that type of stuff. We know what the defense was this season. I believe in the biggest adjustment. Um, the biggest adjustment for the Detroit Lions this year, I think it was two things. Early on, they started 1-6. I believe the first turning point of the season was, you know, the Minnesota game. And when they went into the Minnesota game, it turned everything like the wrong way. But one thing people don't point out in the Minnesota game, I believe, DeAndre Swift was injured in that game and before that game. St. Brown got injured in that game. Josh Reynolds got injured in the game. And then in the beginning of the season, DJ Shark was dropping a lot of balls. So it really boiled down to people saying, well, he should have went for it on fourth down. You got to remember, Jamal Williams was stopped on fourth down in that game. So I was defending Dan Campbell, and that was a pivotal point, turning point in the season. He could have lost the locker room. It could have went a lot of different ways. He righted the ship. Um, he did right the ship, but yeah, I understood not going for it on fourth down. You couldn't trust DJ Shark. Um, you know, he couldn't trust DJ Shark. He was dropping a lot of balls. You know, uh, you know, but I understood it. Had a lot of injuries. So I mean, and whatever reason, Golf and Hawkinson never really clicked. But and then also, I think he put the Lions behind the eight ball with some claw, especially versus Philadelphia, the onside kick, especially going forward in our own territory. It put us, him being aggressive on fourth down, I think helped us lose some games. He had to do some soul searching. He made a decision and they did some soul searching. They did some soul searching. And I believe that, those are the two things along with getting healthy. And one of the reasons why I felt that the expectations were, I thought people having too much expectations from watching Hard Knocks. I believe one of the reasons why I didn't really like, the large expectations that a lot of people had for the Detroit Lions were it was because of the injuries. Anna Zorky was, I said before the season, was the second most important Detroit Lion that we had because and we missed that penetration and that penetration up the middle. That's the worst type of penetration right in the quarterback's face. So we truly missed that penetration up the middle, bro. So yeah, we missed that. We missed it. And then you continue to go on and uh Josh Pascal, who's supposed to help out in the middle, he injured, started the season injured. Then you lose Charles Harris, Kaminsky. You lost a number of guys throughout the way. Um, Then Tracy Walker goes down, and then it's like, yo, what we gonna do? And Aaron Glenn had to change his philosophy. Um, you know, you know, and I think that's what had to happen. But as you went on through the season, I think they all made adjustments. I think Ben Johnson got better and what he was trying to do, and him and Goff got more comfortable. They got guys healthy. I mean, you look at the New England game, just wasn't nobody healthy. St. Brown was out there playing on one leg. The Dallas game, people, guys was not healthy. You know, and they was in the Dallas game. And New England, a hard place to go play. I felt that he shouldn't have lost to a backup quarterback still, but it is what it is. They got Jared Goff's number. They ain't in a division or nothing or in a conference or nothing like that. Uh, you know, you know, you know, but yeah, it was just something. It was just kind of a season that seems to start off with a lot of promise because of Hard Knocks, and then people saying fire Dan Campbell. You look at some of the ranks here, offensively. This is offensively, defensively. Um, and what is the I really don't know what this is. It's crazy, but we pretty much know what it is on this standpoint of view. They ranked 26.6 in points a game. It was hot last year. Their opponents, they ranked 25, that's 28th in the league. Yards 380 was for offensively. They were fantastic. Third down conversion could use some work. Fourth down conversion, they just went for a ton. Early in the season. Red zone percentage, this is the big one. They was fourth in the league in red zone percentage touchdowns. And defensively, a lot of this got to change. And people say, well, the defense, you draft all defense, and you start moving up, you start missing talent. Then you start missing talent. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Um, you can't do that. You got to get best talent still. You know, so, but well, yeah, but I think the health of the defense and a little change of philosophy, uh, I think helped the defense. So I think it did. Yeah. So I think it really did. And I think hopefully you'll be a lot healthy next year. And I think the main thing for that defense is I think they need a veteran defensive back there. I don't think they need to draft no cornerback, no young cornerback. They got enough young guys in that DB backfield. I think they gotta find a way, in my opinion, to go out there and get a veteran cornerback. And too bad we didn't keep Darius Slay. And maybe, Marty Aurora get healthy. Maybe he get healthy. But I think a veteran DB, and I'm gonna speak on that in the coming days on the video and maybe in a live season review. So I'm gonna speak on that. But yeah, I think a veteran defensive back, it might be what the doctor ordered to go with those young DBs and lead them. But carrying on, Ben Johnson, he was huge this year. And you got to understand, Ben Johnson is not a finished product as a play caller. He is not a finished product. Think about that for a minute. He is not a finished product. There's going to be more relapses. Uh there's going to be more rises. There's going to be more detours. There's going to be more adjustments. There's going to be more toys like Jameson Williams added to the offense. So you got to remember that about Ben Johnson. He's still getting better. And the true test for him, if he don't get a head coaching job, which they should like give him a bump in pay, the true test for him is going to come when next season when they defensive coordinators and teams get an opportunity to break down what he doing, and we gonna see what he be able to come with. You hear defensive coordinators, because we heard in some of the later games, say that he does something different every game. You really don't get a tendency on what he's doing, so he gonna have a off season under his belt to add and implement things into the offense that you know and be even more deadlier. But they got to be prepared. Him and Jared Goff got to be prepared to do something different next season. They got to be prepared to do something different. So, you know, you know, they got to be prepared to do something different. So that's another interesting thing that's going on too. The aspect of golf, if Ben Johnson leave, then what's next for them, and where do they look at, and what I'm saying. So that should have a huge bearing on them as well too. But yeah, it was a successful from offensive standpoint. When they was healthy, it was successful, and it looked explosive, and it looked uniform, and it looked it looked like a real offense, a real complex offense, but still so simple in what they was trying to do. So offense, they did great this season. When healthy, they did great. DJ Shark came back from the injury, looked a lot better. I don't think Josh Reynolds ever got his footing back from the ankle injury. DeAndre Swift said he played with a high ankle injury this season and a shoulder injury throughout the season. You can tell because he wasn't explosive as he was early in the season. But they do got some decisions to make on the offensive side of the football. Um, I think they, got a decision to make on the right guard position. Are they going to take a right guard in the draft? I would. Somebody maybe development will come in and eventually can kick the right tackle, because I got a feeling down the line, High Tie probably gonna kick Sewell will kick the left tackle. They can running back. Bijan Robinson, I love some of the film he did, but I heard he had some medical concerns. I was talking with somebody and they said only if his medicals check out, and if he got medical concerns, that's just not a road that we want to go through. But yeah, you bring back Jamar Williams, no doubt. He seemed to be the juice of the team. You bring him back, no doubt. But yeah, I just think they need some explosion, that they can count on going with them. And you bring back Swift, unless you will and deal him. So, but yeah, I think they need to add a running back and probably a right guard, and everybody else can grow with each other, and small modifications. And then defensively, it was a lot to be proud of. Aiden Hutchinson exceeded my expectations. Like I said, like he was a lot smaller and sleeker than he was in Michigan. And obviously, it's a different scheme, more explosive. I think you got some good play from Benito Jones, Isaiah Buggs. Lee McNeil had the big game versus the New York Giants. Brad Holmes raved about his linebacker core in the season review, his season press conference. Arizona and guys that fit what they did. He got to go out there and get a middle linebacker to run with Malcolm Rodriguez and Derek Barnes in the future. I think he got to get a veteran cornerback. And the most important thing that they got to look for is they got to invest. They got to find a 3 technique that they can depend on. Like Jalen Carter, people talking about his motor. It's just a nitpick. They did the same thing with Miles Garrett. Said, well, he got tired versus Ohio State. Of course, dude, it's the end of the season. He beat up. They playing at a high pace. They said said the same thing about Aiden Hutchinson when Georgia went on the high pace last year. Aiden Hutchinson, you kind of nullify him, but you can't play that at that rate in the NFL like that. You showed Chip Kelly showed you can't do that. The Bills did it, but it ain't been duplicated to perfection since the Buffalo Bills, was doing it. So but yeah, I mean, I think, from a need standpoint of view, it's him. You need that guy on the inside that can wreak havoc. And I think that's what they need to do. They need defensively and a nice athletic linebacker and a good veteran cornerback. They got enough young guys from Chase Lucas, Melifano can drop down, Jeff Okuda, Jerry Jacobs, um, Chase Lucas. They need a really good veteran guy out there on the edge that they can depend and they can count on the lockdown and lead that young defensive backfield with Tracy Walker. So, that's my opinion. I think it was a successful season. Y'all seen I did a video before the season ended. Yeah, it was successful. I like the way they ended. The momentum seemed a lot more authentic than it was last year. I think the momentum they ended the season with was due to teams overlooking them and the Packers rested because they locked up a higher seed. But this momentum felt real. We see if it carry over to the off season and beyond that. So going to be a lot of expectations, and I think the best test for their expectations that they had was when Carolina smacked them on their ass. Excuse my language, and they got a dose of reality. So they went some trials and tribulations, but there's some questions to be answered going into the offseason. What's going to happen with Ben Johnson? If he leave, what's next for Goff? Where do they go from that standpoint of view? And how do they address some of the needs they need on both sides of the football? So James Houston had a great year. The rookies did their thing. Um, yeah, James Houston was terrific. Aiden Hutchinson was terrific. Pascal came in there and gave some time. So yeah, some of the rookies that they got, they did their thing, and we'll see where they go from here. So appreciate y'all, man. I'm gonna do a live review a little bit more thorough than this, and y'all be able to ask your questions and stuff. So appreciate the love, support. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and the subscribe button. It's the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop a video. Appreciate y'all. One time for the one time piece.